when you're using free lead generation methods, you'll have to rely on smaller sources. So let's start with the biggest, and that's myip.ms. Now, before I detail what you'll be doing with this, remember, this is all covered in the plug and play. So, don't worry about starting and stopping and taking notes. Now, myip.ms is an incredibly, I guess you could say, antiquated looking site that's extremely useful for searching, the entire internet, but specifically for websites that use Shopify, which is the most common e-commerce host. Now, to use this search function, you actually need to use the boxes indicated with arrows. Now, the arrow on the bottom left refers to the top level host function. So this is where you should search for and select Shopify. Next, go to popularity and input 300 on the left as the lowest value, and then 6,000 on the right as the highest value. Now, this ensures that you do not reach out to websites with low traffic, which are likely to be unqualified, and that you stay away from giant stores that at this stage of the journey, and as I said, maybe you're coming into this process and you're already making 40K, in which case, you can bump that up. But as I said, especially once you get past like 30,000 a day, or even 20. I'd say 30,000 a day. That's really where you're starting to get into the massive businesses where it's like, it makes sense. Even as an agency owner, I would tell them, look, it makes sense for you to have in-house at this stage. Now, note that this last one shouldn't be followed strictly, as I said, but it's a pretty handy rule of thumb. As always, there will be outliers, so fiddle with these parameters until you find the client that's right for you. Next, using the top arrow, type in a search term that is most applicable to your niche. In this example, I've used watches, and let's take a look at the results. Now, using my own parameters, I have found a list of 27 watch dealers. Now, although myip.ms doesn't provide you with any information like emails or phone numbers, it does allow you to export a list of websites for you to populate yourself later with information, or as I said, even get a VA to do that. Now, it is time to get a little bit more creative. And this is actually where we're gonna lean on large databases out there like Amazon or larger department stores. Now, putting Amazon to the side for 1 second, for example, in the UK, I would look at things like John Lewis or Selfridges. Now, these department stores stock thousands of brands in so many different verticals. And a lot of these brands, while they may be doing well, wholesale, their e-commerce sucks. And by the way, speak to any physical product business owner. Most of them want to have their own brand. They want to go online, and they want to not rely on these massive department stores for their business. So let me actually give you a little illustration of that. So I actually went ahead on the John Lewis website in the UK and refined my search by moisturizers. Next, I went to most recently added and started looking. Now, the very first brand that came up, Egyptian Magician, I love that name, by the way, is a perfect example of this, right? Because I looked into them, and they're an established brand, loyal following. In fact, they were even featured in Vanity Fair and Harper's Bazaar and a few other ones that I spotted. They have a decent presence in retail stores, but they don't run their own Facebook or Google ads. Now, Amazon is an extension of this. There is one little caveat though. The thing is with, Selfridges, John Lewis, Harrods, like some of these department stores, Harvey Nichols, whatever it may be, they have entire buying teams, right? So they kind of pre-vet and pre-qualify these businesses that, they're large enough, that the products are good enough. They're not just, just some random person, right? And they're not just like some 21-year-old who just started their, fulfillment by Amazon, their FBA business, and just, bought a bunch of shitty sock from China. And that's kind of the only issue that you may run into when you're going on Amazon. So for that reason, just keep one eye open when you're looking at Amazon, and just make sure you look at the reviews and also see, as I said, go on their website, because yes, they may be selling on Amazon, but they could have many other distribution channels as well. So go on their website, see if they're still running ads, get a real feel for their business. The main thing I guess I'm trying to say is just make sure you're not going to like FBA business and, reaching out to unqualified prospects.